Okay, Hazy and T in the building. We got Robbie Schremp, guy with the nicest hands in the world, coming up.
I'm Rob Schremp. Coming up next, I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hayes, entertainment exclusive.
Ryan Hayes. Ryan never stop. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
This is I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes. We are going live.
Hello.
Hey, Robbie, how you doing?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to sit down and chat with me.
Sorry I'm late, but put the daughter down. It's been over an hour trying to get her down, and it's actually still hasn't been successful. Your email got me. Oh.
Well, we can make this a short one if you want.
No, that's fine. My wife's in there. She's just
Okay.
she's battling hard tonight.
Oh, okay, yeah. What time is it over there?
8:15.
8:15. Okay. So you're born and raised. Oh, I'm Ryan, by the way. So
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Man, you got some of the sickest hands of all time. I'd be trying to practice your moves in my warm-ups myself. So.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my teammates give me shit all the time because I'm always trying to pick up coming down on a 2-on-1 and I want to lift the puck and throw it like a lacrosse thing.
It's so much fun. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's beer league. What do you expect? So born and raised in New York?
Yeah, upstate New York, Fulton, New York, was my hometown.
What was that like growing up?
Yes, very small town, factory town, industry town, so to speak. And we had the local rink was really close to my house, which was a huge blessing. Small town, probably 10, 15,000 people. And that really close-knit community feel. And our family is huge. So, between my dad, 6 siblings, my mom, 5 siblings, massive family.
Do you play any other sports growing up?
I played every sport pretty much. I played baseball, lacrosse, football. I wrestled, hockey, obviously. Soccer didn't get too much. I played soccer one season. Basketball, I didn't actually play. I quit hockey. I didn't sign up for hockey one year at 8 years old, I think it was. And my next door neighbor, Robbie Williams, we spent every day together playing sports. And he had these, they were using for lacrosse, but they were flak shoulder pads. And the day that it was basketball season was starting, the same day what hockey season was starting. And that day he told me if I didn't play basketball and played hockey, he'd give me these shoulder pads. So I backed out of basketball, got back on the hockey rink and stayed, which is a blessing because I'm maybe 6 foot with an 18-inch vertical jump. I don't know how far I would have gone with basketball.
Yeah, that's like me. I'm only 5'5", so basketball was never one of the sports for me.
Yeah.
So you were drafted 25th overall, 2004 to the Oilers. What was the feelings hearing your name called?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a wild day. We had a lot of people came down in support. Had about 125 people down there, 130 people I think it was from my friends and family up in upstate New York, and everybody came down. Some took motorhomes down. So it was a big celebration, and it was exciting to get drafted in the NHL.
Where was the draft that year?
Carolina.
Okay. So I guess it was a bit of a drive, not too bad.
Oh yeah, it's about 12 hours, 12-hour drive. So.
Okay. You spent your first rookie season in junior was in Mississauga. You got 74 points in 65 games before being traded to London Knights. What were your feelings after your first trade?
Yeah, it was wild. The first year was a great season. Steve Ludwig was the coach. Awesome. He's one of my favorite coaches of all time. Amazing guy, amazing coach, and I love playing for him. And unfortunately, after that season, they sold the franchise and everything came in new, and it was just not a good fit. To keep a long story short, it just wasn't a good fit, and kind of feeling under pressure with it being draft year. The first couple months started out really rocky, and it was kind of a distraction. So that trade was more on my end, pushing wanted to go. So we landed where we wanted to go in London, and that was, we did what we did in London, so it was a good fit.
Okay, and you won OHL Rookie of the Year 2002-2003, winning an award where it acknowledges you as the number one guy. What are those feelings like? Yeah,
I think it's something like those awards are not, for me, it wasn't in the mindset. It was really just going out trying to get better and play better and better hockey. And going from, I played Tier 2 junior when I was 14, 15, so it was a little bit like OHL, but that next jump of OHL was huge. It's just such a better, it's a big jump. The 19-year-olds, they're mostly NHL draft picks, and they're, really good hockey players. So coming up to that next level was a big adjustment. So just trying to get your game dialed into where you can compete with that was more the focus. And then at the end of the year to get recognized as you did do that, and you did it at a great level, so to speak, winning Rookie of the Year. It's just an acknowledgement of your hard work. And, like I said, it never, like during the course of the season, you're not like, I got to get Rookie of the Year. It never crosses your mind. It's more like, I sucked on Sunday. What do I got to do to be better for next Friday? And making sure you do get better by week. And, that award, it felt great to get named to that, because there were some good, some great players in that class as well, with Wolski, Evan McGrath, David Bolin. There's some good 86 birth year guys coming that year. So to get recognized was pretty special.
I'm going to jump out of line here and ask you this one now while we're talking about it. What was the biggest jump going from junior to the pros?
Time and space. Yeah. Guys are bigger, faster, execute at a much quicker pace. Junior, you can get those, 5-6D in junior. Sometimes they're young, sometimes they're not experienced, and you can, it's like not me in a malicious way, but pick on them in the sense of in a game to get out there on the ice with them. You can take them apart. The 5-6 and pro are all pretty good hockey players, even all the way from the coast up. So some of these guys are a step away from the A in the coast. Some of these guys in the A are just one step away from the show. So it's that time and space goes away, and guys execute really fast when you go to pro.
And then you helped on that stacked London team win the Memorial Cup. Thoughts on feelings on that, on winning a Memorial Cup, the first one in franchise, I believe?
Yeah, it was. It was special because we hosted. And we came to the front door, so to speak. We won the OHL, and then we won the Memorial Cup. So one of those things where it was special. The year before, we thought we did have a really good hockey team as well. The year before, Dennis Weidman, Danny Bois, Scott Shepard. We had a really good team. Corey Perry, these guys were all there. We just fell short of our goal to a really good Guelph team. But that was one of those learning lessons, I think, not to say that we were in the same likes as this team, but the Edmonton Oilers, when they lost to the Islanders, I believe it was the first time that it like woke them up to realize what it took to win. And that for us was our experience. My first year there, we thought I wouldn't say that we had the mindset like we had it in the bag, but we felt we were the better team, and we were a really good hockey team. And we realized that that's not enough. Kevin Klein that year for Guelph had 3 hat tricks as a defenseman in a 7-game series. So stuff like that happened, and they played really well. Cam Jansen was running around doing his thing, and Martin St. Pierre. They had Ryan Callahan, Dan Girardi. They had a really good team as well, and they just executed. So that opened our eyes, and then the next year, you could see the stats. We came out the first 31 games undefeated. It was really that energy from the year before of failure fueling the boys that year. We were not going to be stopped, and we weren't going to fall short. And it was a special year in a lot of ways. We had a really good hockey team, and we were really motivated. And we were winning a ton of games, and that momentum and that energy was very hard to duplicate, and I never did get a chance to duplicate it again.
Yeah.
But it was special, and it did get recognized last year as Team of the Century, and we did a lot of special things. And it was another special thing was, maybe not great for hockey at the time, but the lockout was that season, so it was great for us because we had all this energy going and momentum. And Sidney Crosby was in the Q doing big things. We were in the O really doing big things as a team. A lot of the attention was on junior hockey, and away rinks were all sold out when we came into town. And Sidney was doing the same thing by himself in the Q. Every rink he went to was like crazy energy and packed houses. So it was a pretty cool year.
Yeah, I was going to say the 2005 lockout year, the World Juniors was stacked, and that was the year you played for the World Juniors. With it, every team being stacked and still making the national team, that's a pretty good accomplishment. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's definitely something you take pride in because it's a stepping stone in the sense, again, of recognizing where your game's at with your peers and being recognized by your country as one of those top players. To be on that roster is special, and to get the call or get the letter was really it was really, you just, I don't know what the right word is, not exciting, but also
Accomplished?
I don't know, accomplished, or it's exciting, but it's also, you have a huge honor. Like, you got picked out of so many players to be on a 20-man roster or 20, whatever it was, 22-man roster. It's really, it's something special. And it means that, again, you're at the time playing the game, going through the season. There's not like, I got to be on the roster. I got to be on that roster. That was not, it's like your game just gets kind of acknowledged. And that kind of gets you one of those like, whoa, I am playing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you did play you did play in the 2006 World Juniors as well. That's pretty good too. You get two chances at it to wear your national colors, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was great. And 1 year in the States and then 1 year in Canada. So I was getting a chance in the first year in Grand Forks, North Dakota, was seeing that. I think it's Ralph Engelstad Arena is the name of it. It was unbelievable. What a facility. What a cool campus they have there in a setup. It was awesome. And it was like that year, there were some unbelievable hockey players in that tournament. Canada alone,
yeah. Their
whole team was basically the first round of the NHL draft of '85.
Yeah,
it was insane. And then they had Crosby, phenom. They were stacked, and it was very close to the Canadian border. So Winnipeg, a lot of people came down from Winnipeg, and man, Canada had some energy. They brought it down there, and the rink was it was a great experience. Then in Vancouver, obviously being in Canada. The passion for hockey and the World Juniors was really cool.
Yeah, because the 06 one, that was in Vancouver.
Yep.
Okay, yep, and that's obviously where I am. I was at that World Juniors too. I was at the one, though. It was at the game where Steve Downey got the elbow in the head from Eric Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was at that game.
That's right.
So you made your NHL debut in 2007. Who was in the stands, and describe that feeling, skating out on the ice for the first time?
In the NHL?
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. Actually, my parents were on a flight to get over, but to Minnesota, I believe it was, or played Minnesota. They were on a flight to get out, and they got the plane got canceled due to a storm. So it was actually, I was rolling solo, but it was game 81 of the season-ish. It was a lot of emotions. I got a random call. I remember the call even. I thought we were in Norfolk playing in the minors, and I got a phone call in my hotel room. I thought it was Dennis Bondby playing a joke on me. Tripper, you get called up, get your stuff ready. And I'm like, oh, good one, like screw off kind of thing. And hung the phone up, phone rang back. 2 seconds later, I pick it up. My bones like, screw off, man. Like, it's not funny. The joke's over. And it was Todd Richards. He's like, no, Schremp, like, it's me. Like, you're getting called up. I was like, no way. So I didn't think, so late in the season too. It's very easily could have been a joke. I couldn't believe that I was getting called up. But yeah, it was a lot of emotion. I could call my parents, and getting everything going, and getting on a plane, flying across the country, literally all the way across the country. Yeah, it was unique for sure.
That first game that your family did get to go to, how was that?
Yeah, it was awesome. My dad and mom mom and dad were very supportive through my career, and always were. In most games they were there. My dad especially always came to, even in London, he was coming up in the playoffs. He used to come up on the weeknights and drive back down to Fulton. It was about 4.5, 5 hours. So really committed and really supported me. So having that chance for them to be in the stands was a little bit of like a payoff for their sacrifices, and it's special for sure, because it was something, as a small town kid, it was really starting out as a pipe dream, you know. It's hard to get there, and coming from where I came from, nobody else had really done it. Tim Conley did it before, like that's where my path, he kind of blazed the path for me. He's an 82 birth, and that kind of gave me a little bit of something to go for. And that's why I never lost sight of it, because I saw Timmy do it, and that gave me a little bit of motivation that it was possible. A lot of people, when you're on your path, they try to knock you off your path. What do you think you're going to make it? You're not going to make it, blah, blah, blah. Having Timmy go right in front of me made me realize that it was possible. And, that kind of stuff used to be fuel for my fire to get to that goal. And my parents were along the way the whole way, and they got to hear all of it and be part of all of it. So when we finally got there, it was special. So
would you say your parents were the biggest influences in your life?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They were very supportive, and great. They were a huge inspiration for me. My mom and dad both worked their ass off. My mom especially, she's such a driven woman and hard worker and honest person. So they were great, and we had a lot of fun. We met a lot of great people on the journey as well. So it was good to everybody kind of celebrate that moment when I did make it. It felt like a big celebration for anybody that we, were on the ride with, so to speak, to get there.
Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Bull Durham.
Okay.
Comes to mind. Youngblood is like kind of I love Youngblood. It's a great movie, but that's a pretty generic answer. But Bull Durham is definitely, I love Bull Durham. I watched that movie probably 100 times.
Okay, good. Yeah, we actually never hear that one. We always hear Slap Shots and The Miracle.
Yeah.
What about favorite sports hero?
I grew up with Michael Jordan as kind of inspiration, and watching him in awe and watching him entertain. So I drew a lot of my energy from watching that and watching his brand, so to speak. Now that I'm older, I see it that way. As a kid, just watching him, it was amazing watching him, jump from the foul line with his tongue out, dunking and scoring 80 points a game or whatever, like having these huge nights, and also being an entertainer at the same time. It wasn't sacrificing performance to entertain. He was just entertaining when he performed. He definitely was someone I watched closely and loved it.
And you obviously,
like I said, I had a 18-inch vertical, so I wasn't dunking like him, but I definitely did try.
And you obviously watched the Last Dance documentary.
Yeah, that was special. I think that was really cool. Such a great perspective, and get a chance to see inside the locker room and inside, what was actually going on. It was pretty unique.
In 2009, the Islanders claimed you off of waivers. What was your second team? What was it like going to your second team, making new friends, new teammates?
Yeah, that was for me. It's like a clean slate, sort of fresh start, and it was something I needed, a kind of a shot of new. And it was really great. I got there, and it wasn't all smooth sailing. Even when I got there, when I first got there, I played like 3-4 games, and then I sat and had to wait my turn or wait till someone got out of the lineup to play. It took like 20-something games. So I grinded and stayed in there. And after, I think it was around December-ish, I finally got in. There was an injury in the lineup at the center position. And then, then it was really good. That time actually sitting out was actually beneficial, because I did get to bond pretty good with the guys, meet the guys, meet the teammates, get to know everybody. And it was also in a tough spot for me. Like, I was getting bag skated every day and not in the lineup for 20 plus games straight. It could have gone either, one way or the other. It could have been the baby sulking, but I took it a different direction, and I was happy to have that new shot of life and that new opportunity. So I took it more like, hey, I'm here, and I made sure I was a good teammate and just made the boys happy whenever I was around. I wasn't a sulker. And then when I got my chance to get a lineup, it was guys were pulling for me, so to speak, and you know what I mean? So it was a great feeling, and getting a chance to be in the show every day playing was awesome. It was really cool.
Yeah, and you got out of that shit franchise, the Oilers, you know. Being a Canucks fan, I get the chirp. They've had so many first round picks, and they still can't figure it out. Okay. December 12th, 2009, first goal. You still have that puck?
I do. Yeah, they gave us a nice plaque for it, and a cool picture celebrating with Mark Streit. Basically, almost broke his back. Jumping into his arms, and it was special. So the Islanders gave me a really nice plaque in the game sheet, so it was pretty unique.
Do you have any pregame music? Like, what would you listen to before the game?
No, I wasn't big on that. I'm not, I'm pretty easygoing. I'm more like laid back, like honestly, like Dave Matthews Band music, and then I used to chuck that on because sometimes you got the guys that like the heavy metal and like the
yeah.
That's not my cup of tea. Like I'm more of a kind of relaxed and envisioning what's going to happen in the game and relaxed. So it's when it happens for me, it's when you get that heavy metal going, bang your head off. It's just, anyways. But no. So the music for me was more just laid back. I never had a real, playlist, so to speak, that I had.
Did you have any pregame rituals or meals?
No, not really. Rituals, I like to go on the ice, maybe an hour before warm up, just in my shoes and with a stick and gloves, and just start to feel the puck and, again, do some imagery work, thinking about what I was going to do on the surface and see the space and that kind of thing. So nothing really crazy in any aspect. Pre-game meal is just whatever we had with the team. Usually went with the standard. I would penny alla vodka with shrimp was my meal, but nothing. Everybody else usually pasta and chicken, but nothing I was too hung up on, so to speak.
Okay. Sometimes when you're on the road as well, it's hard to get that actual good meal in you.
It's true. You're kind of shooting in the dark, and when you're in the minors especially, you're just kind of going whatever's open. Sometimes hotel meals are not the greatest, but you just kind of winging it.
When the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg, you weren't given a qualifying offer, so you signed in Sweden with Modo, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. What was the feelings going over to play in Europe, and what's the difference between the two games? Because I only really see it at the World Juniors, the players coming over. You see a little bit of Modo being a team that I'm pretty sure Naslund was an owner of, Marcus Naslund. So Canuck guy, but and the Sedins I know played in Modo. What's it like playing over there compared to the North America game?
Yeah, it's a much more controlled game, puck possession and defensive. Actually, the bigger ice, they pack in the middle of the ice, so it's very tough to get into areas that are threatening to the net. So if I could take the shortest version answer to that question, it's in North America, when you get in the offensive zone, it's almost one pass and a deadly chance, bang bang. And in Europe, you have to string together 2, sometimes 3 passes to get a deadly chance. So you get down low in the corner in North America, you make a play, let's say from under the goal line to the face-off dot. That's a really good chance in North America. In Europe, it's like 5 or 6 feet further out. When you start talking about angles on the net, it's not really a threat. It's basically taking a shot just to take a shot. So it's that. And so the play comes from down low in Europe. It's got to go to that face-off dot, and then the guys got to make the next play. So that's what happens. That's why it falls apart, because you have to make 2 or 3 passes to get something deadly or something effective, so to speak. And that's why, the scores are low and the defense is, very tight inside the box or in the home plate for the hockey term. In North America, 1 breakdown and it's a grade A.
Yeah, and the way you're describing that reminds me a lot of the way the Sedins played. They always controlled the puck and they made multiple passes before they shot and trying to get the best angle on it, like you were saying.
Yeah, they're brilliant hockey players.
Yeah, they are.
Unbelievable. They're so smart.
You ever meet them playing over there?
No, I didn't. When I played there, Marcus Naslin was the GM, and Peter Forsberg was the assistant GM, and Alf Samuelson was the coach. So it was a great connection with North American guys. And that was the other reason going over there. I felt like to go there, and I wanted to go there for a year and try to get back. Even the thing for me was skating, and Sweden is one of the best skating. It's well known for their skating ability. So going there and trying to work on my game and get better and come back was the idea. And going and playing for that people like that was a great opportunity. And it didn't work out that way, but I had a great season. Really enjoyed my time there with those guys, and what a rich history. Yeah, Sedin's also Toby Enstrom's from up that way. Victor Hedman's up from Ornskosvik. So there's a lot of hockey people from there.
In 2012, you signed in the KHL shortly before signing in Austria. Is there a major difference between all these leagues?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're all different styles. From my experience, I can only speak on that, but Sweden was the best league in my opinion outside the NHL. I think it's very well structured. The way the game's played is very strong, and players looking to develop. It's a really strong league. KHL's got a lot of talent, a lot of good players, but it's a little bit different style. I'd say, Switzerland was a little bit more open offensively, kind of more like a little ball hockey-ish, looking for breakaways and slinging breakaways a lot and fast breaks. Austria it's a lot of imports, so it's a little bit of a mix. A little bit of high octane offense as well. I mean, there's a lot of games like 7-5, 6-4s. There's some high scoring games. We're right down. Germany is actually one of the best. I think one of the fastest growing leagues from my experience. When I got there, I was really surprised with the level. Not surprised. Yeah, I'd say surprised. I didn't know. Germany seemed like kind of a place, from my understanding, like some older guys would go there at the end of their career. When I got there, it was really good hockey, and the German guys were their hockey IQ was very high, and their compete level was very high, and their execution level, like all of it, really, really surprised me. And then they almost won. I think it was 2018 Olympics.
Yeah,
is that right? They lost to Russia, and they had the game. They had the game, the power play, 2 minutes left in the game, and they technically should have won the Olympics. So that speaks volumes for their development and where they're at as far as a country in hockey. So it's all growing though. I think you saw a lot, maybe 10, 15 years ago, where like an import would come over here and chuck up huge numbers. It's not happening anymore. So what's happening is the game of hockey is rising all over the world, and development's happening. So you see the league now, there's guys coming from all over. Latvia is a small country. There's some Latvian guys, a great Latvian goaltender in Columbus. A lot of these places are developing, and I mean, it's really good to see. Actually,
they're even developing now in Japan and the Asian countries. They're starting to get moving on that. They're a ways behind, but
they're starting. They're bringing good resources in. And what's important is to bring the right information in front of the players and let the players figure it out. That's really where the thing is. It's really, if you can load whatever organization or federation you're with, when you load the players up with information and let them figure it out, those are the organizations and federations that fast forward the fastest, because you give the players the information and let them figure it out. Now they know how to solve the problem. Where they run into trouble is when let's say they hire a name guy just to hire a name on the resume. Yeah. And he comes over and he tries to give them all the solutions. So they know the solutions, but they don't know how to get to they don't know how to get to the answer. They only know the answer. So it's, some of these places have figured that out, and they bring in the right resources, good information, and let the players kind of develop and figure it out.
And you've played all over the world. Do you have a favorite road barn or place to play?
I gotta think about that. Mannheim was really cool, Germany. Bern in Switzerland was a unreal atmosphere. Bern and Davos. Davos is more like it's like a cathedral almost. It's all made out of wood, and it's this beautiful barn, sick rink. Bern is a different scenario where it's about a 16,000 seat building, and they have one section literally from goal line to goal line that goes up like really high. There's like 12 to 13,000 people that stand up the whole time on that one wall and just chant. And then it's like the energy it's heavy, you know what I mean? It's intimidating almost. So those were two really cool rinks. Our first game in Moto, actually, we played our rival Luleå, and before the game even started, for some reason they put the fan sections of each team next to each other. They started shooting road flares at each other. So we had to like postpone the game for 30, 40 minutes until the smoke would clear out. Me and Freddie Meyer and myself we came over from NHL together kind of. And we're like, what the hell did we get into? Like, what is this? These people are nuts. It's a hockey game, and they're like, the road flares it's not a joke, man. Like that's hot.
Yeah. It's almost like those soccer hooligans.
It's what it was. I mean, it came down, they investigated, blah, blah, blah. There's a couple hooligans that were actually, just being idiots. But the passion is very obvious in Europe. It's more than just an entertainment, so to speak. It's more of a passion to the fans here. It's
one of the questions I had farther down here. Is there a difference between the North American fans compared to the European fans? What would that be?
Yeah, I think it's in North America. It's really. It goes back to the conversation with Michael Jordan as well. Like Michael Jordan would bring people out of their seats, right? Like in North America, people sit in their seats and then something happens, they get up, and you kind of want to be the player that gets them out of their seat, right?
Yeah.
And in Europe, it's like it's a passion. Like they start hitting the drums and they start doing the chants like right after one. Sometimes during warm-ups, they got their chants, and the chants don't stop for 60 minutes. So it's really like a ritual almost, and energy. There's always energy in the building. Like I said, there's sometimes in an NHL game you could sit there and there'd be no cheering or nothing to cheer about for 5-7 minutes. The puck just gets whacked around, whatever, and people are sitting in their seats like waiting for something cool to happen. Where in Europe, they'll, like sometimes when that's happening, when it's a lull in the game, they'll start ripping a different chant, and whatever. So it's definitely totally different, both unique. I can't say one's better than the other. Because it does with the North American one, like I said, it gives you a chance to be that guy that brings 18,000 off their seats and cheer.
Yeah.
So that's a cool feeling too.
Usually the low moments of the game is usually when I'm crushing my beers at the game. So. Yeah, or heading up to go get more beer.
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, because I'm a Canucks season ticket holder, so I go to a lot of games. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite piece of memorabilia?
No, I can't say that I do. I didn't really collect anything like that.
Oh, you didn't collect anything? So probably your first goal puck.
First goal puck is it? Yeah, that. I never thought, during one time playing, I never thought about it. Just play against some great players, cool people.
Okay.
Kind of wish I would have, but at the time it's more just be respectful to them and playing with Dougie. We actually have a Dougie Wade signed stick. I asked for that. That is probably one thing that as a great piece of memorabilia, so to speak. Getting a chance to play with a guy like that was amazing. He's such a great guy, and what a hockey player and what a career he had. So I got to play on a line with him. That was really cool. I asked him for a stick at the end of the year. It took me 7 months to get I don't know. I just felt weird asking for that stuff, It's just too much pride, I guess.
And you mean he's one of the best, top few American players, so somebody definitely worth looking up to.
Yes.
I've met his son actually a few times. He plays hockey. He was playing hockey out here in the junior ranks in BC.
Oh, cool! That's awesome.
2015, you returned to North America with the Florida farm team on I believe it was a PTO.
Yeah, I got to actually got to Portland on a PTO. I was down in Florida, living down there, and David Bowen was a good friend of mine. I used to drive over at 6 o'clock in the morning, get on the ice with those guys at the Panthers just to skate and get on the ice and see what could happen kind of thing. And started scrimmaging with the NHL guys and doing whatever. I mean, I could play there. I did play there. So it wasn't like I was a beer league guy coming out of nowhere trying to play, and Dale Talon recognized it and asked me what I was up to. And I said, I'm looking for a job. And he said, well, I'll get you up to Portland. I mean, it was great to get the opportunity. I would have liked to have gone to NHL camp, but it is what it is. I take what I can get. So we went up into Portland. The Portland PTO was just keep proving what I could do, and went in and had a good preseason and got a contract. So
was that Portland, Maine?
Yeah.
Okay, not Portland, Oregon.
No.
Okay. I didn't really say that in the notes when I was trying to get some notes and doing some of my homework on you. I didn't really say. It just said Portland.
Yep.
2016, you signed in the Swiss League. And 2018, you announced your retirement. What have you been doing since?
Yes, so I've been busy. I stepped away from the game for a minute, and I was working with a healthcare company for a little while and helping them in business development. And then I carried on to build my own platform, 44 Vision Hockey. And now we are built out a team of about 36 coaches now. We have 7 Olympic team member girls, 4 NWHL girls. We have 7 or 8 ex-NHL guys, and the rest of the players on the platform have all played professional level at high ranks. And now we coach players through their video, and we work on their game scenarios with them and for them, and help them execute at a high level from our vision of it and our experience and knowledge of it. And it's something I'm really proud of. It's opened the door and in a lot of ways for some of these players as coaches now to have a way to stay in the game and be unique, work remotely, and then also to bring this much and to bring this resource of knowledge and experience pretty much globally. Anywhere people have video, we can insert some high knowledge, reputable people and help them with their games on, whether it's just a one-off on their game clips or there's mentorships that we do with the players and help them kind of achieve what they're trying to get. We've all been through those hurdles, so to speak, so we can have a little guidance and how to get through it. And sometimes you get in those slumps or whatever it might be and help them get out of it.
Did you have a favorite number? I'm presuming it was 44.
Yeah, 44 was my number since I was 4 years old, since I started playing.
That's what I thought. Okay, now let's get into picking up the puck. This is my favorite part of this interview here. I only got 2 more questions after that. When I'm doing it, I'm loading my stick just full of wax. Is that what the key is to this? And fresh tape all the time?
No, I don't use wax. I never did use wax.
Oh.
So I go just tape, and it's just more about leverage on the puck to get it off the ice, to pick it up. And then, sometimes when you get in the cold rinks or your tape gets icy, it's impossible to do it.
Yeah.
But, for the most part, as long as the ice, and sometimes the pucks, you get really cold rinks, the pucks are like rocks.
Yeah.
Just no chance staying on your stick, man. It flies everywhere. So I advise against it. Actually, someone I did a charity game, and they asked me to, after the game or in between periods, to go out and do the, tricks with the puck. So one of the guys that was helping with the charity, I told him before, I'm like, make sure it's not a rock hard puck. Like, I can't do it. So he thought it'd be funny. He put the bucket of pucks that I was going to use, he froze them all for 2 periods. So I went out to try to do the tricks, and I mean, these pucks were flying everywhere. I went to put it over my head, it flew up in the stands, and then I realized what he did right away, because you can feel the friction, right? Like when it's a good puck, like you feel it on your tape, like the puck and your stick are one, for me at least. And as soon as I tried to do something, the puck would fly off. But Dino is his name from London, played that trick on me. But no, it's more about leverage on the puck and using your hands like a lacrosse stick. You roll them over, and your blade kind of covers the puck when you're moving it back and forth. Your hands go with the motion of the puck, and it just protects it and keeps it on there. It's like a lacrosse stick. It's exactly like a lacrosse stick. That's where it came from, playing lacrosse.
So I can get it up to like here and here and here, and I can do this. But as soon as I try to do the up over my head part, I lose it every time.
Your hands got to roll.
Yeah.
You got to roll like a lacrosse stick.
Okay,
you do it like this, your throw it. Your hands got to roll.
Yeah, my team hates me for it. I'm out there every game. I try to do this, and I load my stick with the wax because that's what helps me pick it up. Because I'm not very strong, So I'm trying to pick up the puck all the time. I can do it really well. I just need to remember to do it in the first few shifts before the stick tape gets wet. And and of course, I actually find it working better when the puck is frozen. I can pick it up. Like if we play on the outdoor rink here where it's really, or the outdoor park, say the lake, if I could pick that up, and I found I could pick it up all day, and no matter what it was. But the moment you get like a shift or two into the game at the indoor rinks, I find you can't pick the puck up anymore. It could be the snow on the ice, it could be everything, but I'm trying to scoop that puck. One of these days, I'm going to score from behind the net, scooping the puck.
Stay on it, man. Don't let your buddies take your shine.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I do it, I'm going to do that celly too, which I've done the celly where you slide and you did the
kayak.
Yeah, and the kayak. I've done that before too.
That's awesome. I did that specifically for that guy, the goalie. Ryan Mcdonald was one of my best friends, actually. He got traded from London the year before in the Mem Cup run, really, yeah, he was one of my best friends. We hung out a lot, and when we used to play against each other, and he was in Guelph, and I was like, he knew me like the back of his hand, right? Like I shot on him every day in practice, so he knew exactly how to stop me. And he'd stone me during the games, and he'd be talking trash to me while he's doing it. He'd be like, "F you, Bob," and he'd like most goalies would drop their. And when I go to shoot, they would drop and then have to react. Mac would stand up and he'd just have his glove right by the high glove, and he would just catch it and he'd be like, "F you, Bob," right? One time I came around the back of the net. I came around a wraparound. I got around to like the bottom of the circles, and I had a guy on my hip, so I had my head down. And I wanted to get around that play, like get around the net and then get to like between the face-off dot and the bottom of the circle and try to go short side shelf. I got to that position. I shot it. And as I shot it, I looked, Mcdonald was on his back with a 2-pad stack covering the high glove. And he was screaming, "F you, Bob." so that game I scored on him in the shootout. And I had to do the kayak. I had to rub it in. Because he was up on me like 6-7-1 on stoning me versus scoring. So
do you have a favorite celebration you've ever done? Or would that maybe be it?
That was I didn't pull it off ever again. It was a one and done. But the fact that like during the whole game, Mac was tripping me and giving me shit, like it made it better just because I got the last one. Even though the scoreboard was way tilted on his side, I said it was 6-7-1, but the last one.
Yeah, my go-to celly is always that "You can't see me, John Cena." And that one, the Yager salute. Or I ride the stick and pretend like I'm jerking it off at their bench. Yeah. There's a reason I get a lot of penalties, and I'm having to fight people all the time being 5 feet tall. But I'm out there.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm out there. I think I'm Theo Fleury or Brad Marchand type player, right? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on John Tavares? I read somewhere that you didn't care for him.
I had my speak about that, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
Oh, we don't even have to get into that. Fuck it. Well, that was just the last question I had, so I wanted to throw that in there, and I want to thank you for taking the time to join me late. You're 10 hours ahead and everything, and it's Sunday morning over here, so I want to thank you for taking your time.